Wakey, wakey, eggs and jakey, ladies and gentlemen. If you're unaware, there was a giant event. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, another boxing extravaganza. And I'm sure your social media has been bombarded with this. First, let me introduce Health Aid Kombucha Cayenne Cleanse. Looking to put some hole in your undergarments? This will do the number. Try it now at your local Jewel-Asco and grocer. Unofficially sponsored. You thought I was going to say sponsored finally. You thought I was, and I'm not, because we're not sponsored. That was an unofficial sponsorship, and I picked this up, and this shit is delicious. Cayenne pepper. Let's get back to to Jake Paul. What can I say about Jake Paul that hasn't already been said about somebody's cousin in the Deep South? Everybody's getting a turn. Everybody's got a turn. Everybody's going to get a turn, including adopted cousin Leroy. He's going to get a turn as well. Shit. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is the man does a wonderful job at promoting his fights. He's an entertainer. You know what I mean? He got the whole UFC to hate him. And everyone wants a chance to fight him. And people are buying the fights, boys and girls. It doesn't matter if he's a boxer or not. It doesn't matter. He's making buku bucks. It's a perfect plan, too. It's a perfect plan. Because Jake Paul has come out and said publicly that the UFC fighters, they do not get paid enough. He was calling out Dana White, saying, pay your fighters more. Give them health insurance, for Christ's sake. You know, they're in a cage going one-on-one in hand combat, like taking blows to the head. What the hell do you think's going to happen? Of course they need health insurance. And to my understanding from what Jake says is they have no health insurance or very, very limited health insurance. So what Jake is doing is he's playing the bad guy. He's known as the problem child. And what he's wonderful at doing is being the instigator and antagonizer. So he's going after everyone in the UFC, current and former champions and people that are in that business, just talking shit. You know, saying that put the gloves on, I'll knock your ass out, blah, blah, blah. Playing the game he plays, right? Well, the reason why that's appetizing to the UFC fighters is because all they have to do is get in a ring with a fucking Disney fighter, like a Disney personality, a former YouTuber, now fighter, and last 10 rounds, right? These guys, we're talking about fighters, UFC fighters. This is what the fuck they do. They're not afraid to get in the ring with anybody, okay? That's their mindset. And now they're going to get a purse that is like tenfold in comparison to what they're used to getting. So yeah, it's a pretty fucking genius plan. Don't care if you hate him or love him, Jake Paul. It's a genius plan. It's perfect. These guys they're all going to take the fight. And when they take the fight, Jake Paul gets a bag. His name gets out there. Even more, he's all over the fucking media. Say a media. Say one. He's on it. Say any fucking media. In China, he's on it. Guaranteed. Sorry if that sounded racist. That's how they speak. I've been to Japan. Pretty fucking close. Okay? He's getting the bag. Other people are getting the bag. Now, where the discrepancy comes in, and where everyone loves to talk shit, is that Jake Paul cannot box. He's not a fighter. This is like the argument that's being made. Fight a boxer. Well, I agree with that notion. I really do. Fight a boxer, because he fought a boxer one time and he lost in a decision. Tyson Fury, I believe it's his brother. I apologize. I forgot his name. Another Fury, though. Okay. And he fought him a couple months ago and lost in a decision. and he was a professional boxer. So his record against boxers is 0-1, but his record against non-boxers, athletes, or former UFC fighters is undefeated. Now you tell me why I would fight boxers if I'm going to lose. When I can fight former UFC heavyweights, light heavyweights, whatever, you name it. I don't know what their weight class is, but they were in the UFC, or professional athletes, and you have an advantage on these people. Okay, he fought Nate Robinson, for Christ's sake. Everyone thought that Jake Paul was going to get knocked out. Jake Paul spends millions of dollars on his training camp. Okay, he has the best trainers from all around the world teaching him how to fucking box. He has the advantage. He's young. He's in shape. He spends all of his days and hours in the fucking gym. Why would anyone think that someone's going to beat him? I know it's hopeful. Maybe like the first couple fights were like, yeah, Jake Paul, he's from Disney, he's going to get his ass kicked. He's not. He's not going to lose unless he takes a fucking match against another boxer. He won't lose. And it's just easy money in his pocket. There's a documentary that just came out. It's really good. It's on Jake Paul, and it goes over his whole entire life. From the moment that he got into YouTubing with his brother, Logan Paul. And I'm sorry if I said Logan Paul. I meant Jake Paul. I'm not sure what I said. Starting from the moment he picked up a camera and Logan Paul started recording himself and posting on YouTube. And then Jake Paul started entering in Logan Paul's YouTubes, and they started noticing some pretty heavy traffic. The more wild shit they would do, the more views they would get. So there you go. There's your ticket. You know, of course I'm going to do crazy shit. Of course I am. I'm getting more views. I'm getting a sponsorship. The first time they got a sponsorship, they actually called their price. They're like, they were on the phone with a sponsor, and I guess the sponsorship knows like how many views to expect, like they were forecasting. So the sponsorship was like, hey, name your price. Name your price. Last time we gave you $300 for posting something. Name your price. And then Jake looked at his dad, and his dad's like, $5,000. Say $5,000. So Jake's like, $5,000. And the sponsorship's like, yeah, no problem. We'll do that. And bam. After that, they reinvested in themselves, bought some props, bought some better cameras, audio, and the rest is history. I mean, dude, you can't hate on their grind. Dude, we all want to be that. Like, have people watching our clips, like just being basically an overnight sensation. Like, you don't ever have to work a 9 to 5. All you have to do is just make these cheesy, corny kind of videos, and you're getting nonstop views. You know, and the interesting part is, like, after everything was said and done, and this is after that he's like made millions, he's a YouTube star, he's already done his Disney gig. He said that he was feeling unfulfilled. Like, okay, now I'm making all these videos. I have all these fans everywhere I go. People know who I am. I already did a stunt in Disney, and I feel unfulfilled. I don't feel anything. Matter of fact, I feel depressed. Matter of fact, everyone's starting to turn on me. They want Jake Paul out. What the fuck is happening? Why is this shit going down? Everyone's saying that the videos I make are shit and I'm fake and I'm a Disney punk ass bitch and blah, blah, blah. So then he said that he found that boxing like helped him, like resurrected his life. Because there was this event, I don't know if everyone's familiar, but there was this event where Jake Paul and Logan Paul, at the time, YouTubers, strictly YouTubers, put on a fight against like some rival YouTubers. I believe the kid's name is KSI. He's a soccer YouTuber, some dude from the UK, and he had a brother. So it was going to be Logan Paul, the older Paul brother, against KSI, the main UK influencer YouTuber. And then the undercard was going to be Jake Paul and KSI's brother. And I guess after that match, Jake Paul won his fight, his bout, and something snapped in him. And he loved it, and he went with it. You know, he's like, I can probably figure out a way to monetize the shit out of this. And I love it. I love the training. I love the fighting. I was down in my match, and the crowd was erupting, and I just got a second wind, and all of a sudden, like, I became superhuman. So I get that. I understand that. I totally get that. Finding something you're good at and something you actually love, and if you can capitalize on that and make some money off of that, holy shit, dude. Now you're sitting pretty. Now you have self-worth. Now you have something to live for. On top of that, you're training, you're making buku bucks. You get to play the villain who you want to play. Dude, you're having fights with literally former champions, like the Michael Jordan of UFC. You know what I mean? Anderson Silva, he's up there. He's up there. He might be like a top 5, maybe even top 3. Like, goated. John Jones is obviously the GOAT. But Anderson Silva, he got to fight him. What the fuck? And now there's talk of him fighting Mike Tyson. Now, I'm not an analyst or anything, or like really heavy into boxing or fighting, but Mike Tyson is, like, if you've seen Mike Tyson fight currently, I know that he's on testosterone. That dude is a monster, man. I don't think you want to fucking fight Mike Tyson. Okay? And even so, if he does fight Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson loses, everyone's going to hate Jake Paul. What are you doing, bud? Don't beat up Mike Tyson. What's the matter with you? We love Mike. Iron Mike. Legend. But you have to think, man, where does Jake Paul's mind go? Like, when is it enough, dude? Like, how much can he turn down money is what I'm wondering. Like, if there, how intelligent is he? If there's this fight, Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, and you hear like a number like $200 million. That's like the time old question, man. Would you get in a ring with Mike Tyson for $1 million, the average person? Everyone probably says no. Would you let Mike Tyson punch you in the face for $1 million? Sleep on that one. Let that marinate. Why don't you go ahead and let that marinate? Let that marinate for a little bit. I don't know. You might not wake up. What's $1 million if you're disabled or dead? Hell if I know. Mike Tyson would punch a fucking hole through my head. He would give me a third lung. Mike Tyson would cause cancer right away. He would punch me so hard that I would grow a growth in my abdomen. Okay? I don't know if I would take that. But Jake Paul, because now he's got a lot of confidence, he's winning, he's doing a bunch of training, he's in good shape, probably feels like he's on top of the world. I don't know. At some point, when does the ego become too much? That's what I'm watching for. When does the ego take over? If he keeps winning, man, and keeps making this money, and the people behind him, his corner is going to be like, dude, you're fucking good, man. You're the GOAT. You're goated, baby. You can fight anybody. You'll whoop anyone's ass. And he probably actually thinks it. At a certain point, he's going to think it, and he's going to take a match, not against Mike Tyson, about like somebody else I'm talking about now. At some point, he's going to take a match that's maybe on paper it looks favorable, or maybe pretty even. And now Jake Paul thinks he's going to win these even fights because he's a good boxer. And it could be at that point, man, that he gets his bell rung. You know, and there's so much shit with the CTE Like, dude, just the constant head hits, blah, 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 blah. And you go like, ugh. That's what I'm worried about. Because he's already an emotional person. If you watch a documentary, it goes over it. He's already an emotional person. He lives on emotion. So, sprinkle a little gasoline onto a fire. That's what CTE would do to him. I would just assume that that's not a good outcome. And if he keeps boxing up, that's kind of my prediction, is that there's going to be a lot of negativity in the future for Jake Paul. Now, I'm not trying to like sprinkle that on him right now and trying to like do some woo woo shit, because I would never do that. I would never prey upon that or like try and cast that on somebody, even though I just had a psychic cleanser on here and I'm feeling kind of witchy like a warlock or a wizard, that I can just woogie 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 and put that on you. I'm not trying to do that, man. I'm just simply trying to look at the facts, saying that like head trauma is a real thing. And if you are already running on emotions, that's what runs the show. And we've seen his YouTube shit and how crazy he acts. Sprinkle a little CTE on that bitch. He was already suicidal before boxing, man. In the documentary, again, and I recommend this documentary so much. It was so damn good. But before boxing, he's like, when I was just going over that, he felt like, what's my calling? What was the point of doing all that YouTube shit? I have all this money and people know who I am, but people seem to hate me right now. And this shit was non-fulfilling. And then his parents and Logan said that he was literally on suicide watch. They had to make sure that he wasn't by himself. That was before getting hit in the head, blow after blow after blow. That was before that. He was already having these thoughts, man. Like one good bell ring, and it could just be. That could be skiing down a slope, and then an avalanche hits, and you get caught up in that shit. And now you're in the storm. That's what it could be, man. But listen, dude, Jake Paul could box 100%. This is true. I know people might not want to hear it. Jake Paul would whoop your ass. Jake Paul would whoop my ass. All right. He's in the training camp. He's taking this shit seriously. It looks like he has plenty of power to knock anyone out. Okay. That right hand is fucking nuclear. Okay. And, he could box, dude. I don't know what you want me to say. He's a master at entertaining. He's a master at getting what he wants, essentially, and keeping the views rolling, dude. Staying relevant. Tell me he's not the most relevant person right now. Everyone in the comments probably saying, "Oh, this dude's not relevant at all. This dude sucks." Dude, you're talking about him. You're talking about him nonstop. ESPN is even showing him. Dude, there's been more reels on Jake Paul and his boxing than there has been, of the women's Olympics or the women's soccer team. I don't fucking know why I said the Olympics. I don't think that's the Olympics, but whenever I correlate the U.S. women's soccer team, I always think the Olympics. I don't know what that is. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyways, Jake Paul could fight. He's doing a good job. He's racking in the money. Is it annoying to see? Sure, it's overplayed in my mind. Fight a boxer, right? But he's making genius moves, and you can't really hate on that because it's working. So leave y'all with that. And did I mention that this podcast was unofficially sponsored by Health Aid Kombucha Cayenne Cleanse? Want a hole in your undergarments? Cayenne Cleanse. Delicious. Everyone, hope you have a good work week. Wash your damn hands and brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. A lot of bacteria in your mouth if you do not brush your teeth. That's all I got for you. Hope everyone has a wonderful week. Love you guys. Peace.